According to me, I always classify you as one of the first podcasters up in Kenya. Do you know that?
You know, I didn't know that until you said that today, and I hadn't really thought about it. I mean, we did have a YouTube show pretty early. Yes, we did.
Yeah. You're going to why we do it.
Why do we do it?
Yeah, why do we do it?
It
So
was
why
so
do you
good.
do it?
Why do I do it now, or why do I not do it anymore?
Yeah, why did you do it? Your time. Like, how did the idea come up?
I have a group of friends who I love very much, and we are around each other pretty often.
Yeah.
And at the time we were living together. I believe in communal living. So we were in each other's houses all the time. We eat together, whatever. And we would just have all these conversations that I thought were really interesting. Of course, I'm biased, but I think my friends are very interesting.
Yeah.
They're very cool, and they have interesting views, and they're articulate and smart. And even if they're not being smart about it, they can defend it, and that's important. And so I was like, you guys, maybe we should put this on a screen. Maybe that's also ego. We're like, hey, we're so interesting. Let's, I don't know.
I think you have to have a certain level of ego and what. Yeah. There kufanya hizi vitu sufanya.
Exactly. So we were literally on a couch in my house one day, and we were like, when you see you have a camera, see we do the thing, because he's a professional photographer and videographer. So we're like, let's do the thing. And that turned into 5 seasons. Yeah. And like 5 seasons of the YouTube show, and then like 1 season of a podcast.
Yeah, because I still classify it as a podcast, because it was just that podcast format, just with whatever. Yeah, and then my wife used to watch it. Yeah, you
really?
Time
never told me that.
Tuna date bad, she used to watch that ish like religiously.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I love the fact that mulikuwa chuo moja at some point before she transferred.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because she was at Kenya High.
She was?
Yeah.
Dark days. I didn't know that.
Kwani, you didn't enjoy Kenya High. Why are you saying dark days?
It for foreboding.
Yeah.
Okay. I know hating on a national school is, for speaking from a position of privilege, but like Kenyan high schools are modeled after jails, right?
Yeah.
In Kenya, we literally used to be like, locked in the dining hall to eat. You're locked in your dorm at night. You have matrons whose main goal is to torment teenagers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm a bit of an activist.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit loud. And that doesn't really fit in with how
the school
844
forward
is. So there was a lot of... And then in high school, I was... an Adventist leader, and schools that are like Protestant or whatever don't really like Adventists sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is for everyone, but like specifically in Kenya High, they would, it was unyanya saji. Like they would put exams on Saturday on purpose because they knew we'll refuse to do them. They would harass us like, oh, now you think you're better than everyone. That's foolishness. So there was just a lot of oppression, and I was coming from a different system of education where authenticity and questioning was celebrated. And then I came to...
Ulikuwa mfanya IGCSE hizo?
Like an international school.
Yeah, okay.
And then moving to 844 was just like, I had culture shock for like 6 years. I was just like, what the fuck the whole time. I used to have like a breakdown every so often, like, what the fuck. And so that shifting of systems, my religion... which Kenyans prize so much until it's against theirs. Yeah. But, Kenyans claim we're very religious, but the way they treat Muslims or the way they treat people who are other, it's very strange. So my religion, my background, the fact that it's modeled on a jail system, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenya was not easy for me.
Because now for her, I think she left the school because of those ones there. The matron, am I there? You say the matron?
Our matrons, were horrific.
Yes, so she
not
left,
all of them, but...
Kuzi anasemaga hivyo. I think she told me, because mwambiaga tu memory yangu agamesa, but I think she told me because of her name, the fact that she was called Fatuma.
Yeah.
And then she's Christian.
Yeah.
So like this, I think used to mess with the matrons, whatever. So ilikuwa frustrate, like made her life hell so much she had to transfer. She left. She didn't finish.
How stupid is that? For your
she
name?
Didn't finish.
It's so
that,
stupid.
Yeah. But it was something like some ridiculous thing. Paka ile wakaona like this person is just going through. Afu unajua you're a kid. So you don't want as a kid to go through. So akaenda pametoka. But for that like short period ile alikuwa chuo yenyu, ali notice a few things about you. It seems you used to stand out.
Guy.
Because I think she said you used to sing.
I did.
Yes, and you had a great voice. I mean, you have a great voice because, of course, you still have the voice. It's still
Is it a practice?
So,
you know, when you don't use it, it dies. Huh? I don't know if I can still sing like that.
Yeah.
But you know, there's also something about oppression that makes you sing well, like South Africans.
Yeah.
You know how South African music is so good. Yeah, high school, my voice was. It was different. But yeah,
Pain
that
makes
shit is
great
crazy.
music.
Imagine having to transfer because a matron has decided that you were her target.
Yeah.
Hey, high school was. It was like a dystopian universe. I don't even know how. It was hard, and I'm sure like. You know, everyone has worse stories. People were in different schools. They were much further. But I mean, the weevils in our githeri was the least of my problems. In fact, it was protein, you know.
Yeah.
That was fun. Me, my biggest problem was our administration was shit. It felt like jail. You know.
Yeah, because I still hate, even when I think about boarding school, I'm like,
what high school were you in?
I don't want to touch it.
Tell your alumni.
I see it's in Liquastach. I was in Stare.
Oh my goodness!
But still, like, I think it was
surprising to me.
It was a good school, and it's a great school. I'm just not a boarding person. Like, even my kid won't go to boarding. I remember nikiambia, like, at the beginning, nikiambia wife, you're like, this kid is not going to boarding, and she was like, no. I was like, fuck that shit. Like, I don't feel like boarding belongs anywhere. Like, I understand people who need boarding. Like, there are people who need it. You understand? Like, if you come from a certain level of family, like, hamuna steamer, hamuna what, you need it. But if your family is privileged enough to have one or two things, mtoyaneza kuja home, that interaction, that's why you have kids who have zero connection to their parents.
Yeah.
Because they've been raised by teachers.
Yeah, like you go to boarding school from like 8. And not that it's impossible to
kids who go
develop a
primo.
Relationship. Yeah.
Kutoka primo, like mtoya mekwa tu kienda boarding.
Yeah, my mom was in boarding from when she was like 7, 8. And not to say that you can't build a relationship with your people.
Yeah.
And, you know, me, I'm not having kids, so I don't care. But if I was having kids, I would not, no, I would never take them to the school. No. Hey, no. I think boarding is a difficult thing to do to a child with hormones. Yeah. Did you guys have that thing? I can't believe you were in Star. I'm so shocked. Okay, we'll get to that later. I'm like, never.
We've interacted like all those times.
You've never said that to me. I'm so shocked. I would have made fun of you immediately.
Yeah, with my blue shorts.
Yeah. But I knew a couple of really nice Stacharians. Are they still nice? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think. Did you guys used to have that thing for putting paraffin in your food to reduce your hormones, which is stupid? They just increase them. I feel like
it increases them.
I feel like it. How do you reduce a teenager's hormones?
You can't.
That's not a thing.
You can't.
My hormones were high. Like I don't know what they were talking about. It's a hard thing. And teachers, stupid punishments just for things.
Alafu nene Flomempoka jua githeri amenikumbusha like she used to say like even had your own githeri song.
Oh my gosh, why do people remember
you? She remembers you. So githeri song yako ilikuwa nini? You love githeri. I hate githeri.
I loved githeri.
Githeri is misery.
To date, Nyoyo Mochel is my favorite. Nyoyo Mochel, it's my favorite. Nyoyo is my thing.
Yeah,
it's my thing. I love. It's my favorite food. I think it's because when we were kids, my mom, that was our snack. It was like that's how my mom rolls. I used to. So we used to have githeri 3 times a week. You see, the fact that I still remember this about high school also bothers me. Yeah. Like it traumatized me to the point that it's angry. I still have nightmares about having to go back to repeat CG Form 4. You know, like in my nightmare, I have to go back to school and I'm in uniform and I'm crying. Anyway, we used to have githeri 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which was also the day for jogging because they would make us jog at 4:45 in the morning. Yeah. So I would be jogging thinking it's okay. There's githeri for lunch. So I used to make songs about how it's githeri for lunch. It was like, you know how Kajairo used to turn a song and then you turn it into... Yeah, so I would do that for githeri.
No.
I had like 40-something songs.
Yeah. Because she told me that you had to githeri. And she stayed in that school for such a short time. I think alikuwa huko Form 1 peke yake. And she remembers you, she remembers singing, she remembers whatever. So it's a school that she has a love-hate relationship. Because
there's a lot of great things about Boma, but that's so funny because like she's one of the lucky ones who actually got to leave. Like I remember I was transferring until Form 4 term 2. I was still like, no, I'm leaving. By term 3 I was like, all right, I guess I actually have to do this fucking exam. But me and you, I was leaving. Wow.
Alafu I think uli mention kabla tuanze like uko na hepa chuo. Uli hepa chuo gani? Was it the
Not
Seiko?
School, just home. I used to run from home.
Yeah. At what level?
At like when I was like 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but school. 7, 8, 9.
Kenya is a very hard school to run from because they have. So they didn't used to have back in the day as much like what's ticking called, like taking register.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they used to check if you were there almost every hour of the day. Like in school, if your desk is empty, like someone is notified. In the dining hall, everyone has a very specific place to sit. So if you're not in your seat, someone is notified. When you go back to class, we used to have register before dinner, after dinner, before you go to sleep. Like it's very hard to skive.
Yeah.
Like a concentration camp.
Yeah, it is like a concentration camp. And then over the weekend, the registry is more because if you're not in class, they can't keep their eyes on you. So they register you more to make sure that everyone is there. It was very hard to run away. People used to. In the years after me, there were, and even the years before me, there were a lot of people. There were, Kenya is so big.
Yeah.
It covers such a massive area. There's ways to slip out. You just need to not be caught.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You used to sneak out from school.
Yeah,
but you guys, you're just next to the road.
I was just never a fan of school. I think the whole system from Ninimpaka, like my kid loves school. Like this is the time me Peter. Like the past year, academic year, is when I had her complaining about school. But she's the sort of girl, yes, like the sort of kid who, even when she's sick, usimwambia aende shule. She wants to go to school even when she's sick.
That's so nice.
Yeah, so, and I hope she keeps that, because mi nikiangalia on my side, like nilihepa nikiwa primo, but sasa mimi now in hindsight, like when I was having this conversation, I think with them, with Akina Ian, and they were trying to be psychologists and psychiatrists, they were like, it must have been because of your dad, because my dad was jailed at some point. I had to go see him in jail, and after hapo nilianzaga kuhepa tu chuo. So now when you think about it, yeah, they're like, there's a way it affects you to like see your dad in that kakunguru for uniform. So yeah, nilihepaga hivyo, and then pia nikiwa seko now nilikuwa na hepa. And I used to hepa for the most petty reasons. Like even on Tuesday nights I had to watch wrestling. Like you try and imagine, like, why?
I have no, but wrestling is life, man.
But still no. It's, when I think about it, I'm like, I had my own problems and troubles. And yes, I was caught. I was even taken for therapy.
Oh, not punished.
Okay, Griffin used to, when like ukihepa shule, he would not use violence on that. He'd use other ways. So since me nilikuwa nahepa shule, they took me for therapy. But I always say this was like the worst therapist ever. Because this guy used to ask me leading questions and I'd just answer the way he wants.
Yeah.
Is it women? Yes. Is it a prostitute? Yes. Do you sneak out because of her? Yes. So like, I remember,
thought you were sneaking out to go see a sex worker.
Yeah. Okay. Which was
Okay.
bullshit. Of course, I was not sneaking out for that. But so I remember now when there was this other, like the school matron, there was a woman who was there, like a motherly figure. When she had that, she was given the report. She was like, no, this is a lie. I don't know how she knew. And had to be there defending, yes, there's a prostitute in Machengo that I got to see. And it was bullshit. So it was that crap. Yeah. But sasa wewe ulihepaje at 7? Ukumehepa jeni? Hauko umenunua chocolate?
I don't even know what was going on. I was a troubled child. I felt very, I'm a baby that came after all of the other kids.
You're the last one?
I'm the last one.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Of many. Of 7.
Uko 7?
Yeah. Or 7.
Yeah. How many boys? How many girls?
4 boys, 3 girls.
Oh, okay. The eldest is a boy, girl?
A girl.
Oh, okay.
My bestie. She's basically my second mother. So because I came after everyone was in, like when I was born, guys were already in primary school. When I got into primary school, guys were already in high school. So I kind of grew up alone, kind of. So I was a little bit lonely. My siblings all got to grow up together. I didn't get to, so I felt...
Oh, gap ilikuwa? Like what's the gap?
Also between me and the people behind me is 8 years.
Yeah.
And then me and the oldest is 15.
No, the people ahead of you?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So it was very, like, they were going through their stages of life. I was finishing high school, guys were on their second child. It was very far. It's nice because, then they give you money. That's excellent.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like I grew up like an only child. And I was a little bit depressing for me, and I was a little depressed.
So at 7, ukihepo nenda wapi?
I would go to like my friends' houses. Like instead of getting on the school bus, I would go with them to their house and not tell anyone that I had gone there. Or I would just go to my friends' houses. That's all I wanted to do. There was a day I wanted to run to America, I remember. I had this friend called Tamani, and we were like, our moms have been mean to us this week. We're going to run away from home. So our plan was to walk across Africa, swim across the Atlantic, and then walk across America to California where her uncle was, and that's who we would live with. The day I had packed, I was ready. The day that happened, she calls me on the landline, right? It's like, Abby, my mom has been nice to me today. I don't think I can run away. It's like, fuck. Okay, well, there you go. I guess we're not running away today. But I would actually tell my mother that I was running away. Yeah. And she'd be like, oh, cool. Can you take me with you? Where are you going? That sounds exciting. Like, she was my mom is she'll talk you out of stuff. Yeah. She was my mom tried to be like a mom who understands, even though I'm sure half the time she's just shocked at this child. Yeah. But she tried.
So your mom gave birth to 7 kids, eh?
Yeah.
And all the 7 mko nyinyi wote?
Yeah.
Oh, she's lucky because my mom gave birth to 8 kids and 4. She's buried 4. Yeah, she's buried 4 because she had twins who she buried. I've never asked her about this. I feel like right now maybe would be the time. Like I always say that. So the next time nikienda Ocha, I'll have this conversation with her. And then wase nitaka niwapatie story of those twins. So she lost twins, twin girls.
Yeah.
So she lost twin girls, and then afterwards, when my dad died, straight after, like in less than 2 weeks, my sister died.
Oh no!
Yeah, like I didn't even attend my big sister's funeral, so that's some fucked up shit. Dude. And then now Majuzi, so those are 3 kids, eh?
Yeah.
Now then Majuzi, like last year, I buried my big bro. So yeah, she's buried 4 kids, and I always think about it, and I'm like, fuck, this is messed up.
That stuff is crazy. Like, I feel like parents are, a lot of the time, parents are so in love with their children, and the hope is that you don't have to bury your children. They'll be burying you. That must be so difficult.
And it's just one of those things. Like, I remember, like, the pain. Because I always say, like, I was not very tight with my dad. Because, you know, like, I feel like old school parenting was, for fathers, it was like at very a distance. For Sisi, especially, because you know, mababi, so it's different. Wealth plays a role in this, I feel. Like, the more you're financially stable, the more you'll be attached to your kids, the more you'll have a certain level of relationship with them.
I don't know if that's true.
To some degree, because
you have the space to be.
Yeah, you have.
Maybe.
Yeah, so Sisi like at a distance. So, vile Buddha lidedi, when we were transporting his body, Ocha, I remember now vile tulifika Ocha, there has to be that one last cry of body mefika Ocha. And I remember seeing my mother cry, like there was this level of pain that was coming from her. And that's the first time that I cried for my dad after he died. This was like maybe, because it took time kabla tumpeleke Ocha. I think it was like 2 weeks after his death. That's the first time nililia, like my mother. So now majuzi pia imehappen another time. Now my wife went through that where mi tumeishia maraundi zetu, because of course my bro I cried because you know bro ni mtu tume grow up na yeye. So tumeenda place nitwa Sondu where there is like violence of Kericho stroke Kisumu County. Alafu narudi and I'm seeing my wife at some corner crying, and I'm asking her why, and she's telling me it's because I saw your mother crying, because now we see with Luo every time there are new visitors someone has to help them mourn. Yeah, so she saw my mom doing that ish, and it was too painful for her. But now in hindsight, Musemaga, that's one of the most beautiful things about Luo culture. To come from the Luo culture is the mourning thing. I feel like it's very important. You like get that shit out of your system,
and you will be forced to. I've been to funerals where they chapa you to start crying, like get it together, we're crying here, you know what I mean?
I feel like it helps in there. Like you can never move 100% from death, but that crying period is very important.
It is, I agree. I wonder if you know what you said about like how if you're more financially stable, sometimes you're closer to your kids. Sometimes I feel like there's a generation of men who it doesn't matter whether you're well off or not. The roles are very clear. You are the father and the provider and the protector, and the mother is the nurturer, and it doesn't matter how much you make. It's still at a distance. Like that old school generation of parenting, you know? I feel like they're still like that.
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there, and it's messed up, because I was having this conversation just like on Sunday. I'm watching the game. So on Sunday, what was happening? There was Manchester
The one
City
they
versus Tottenham, yes?
Oh.
So, but now it's on Saturday night. On Saturday night around like 12 a.m., we were watching the game, Newcastle versus Man United. And then I asked my nephew, like, so what was your dad's favorite team? Because you see, even as much as your brothers, you grow apart to some level.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who are 100% tight with, like, there's like one of my twin bros, we are 100%, like we are in sync. I know what he's doing, I know what. But kuna vile tumegrow apart, we still love each other to death.
Yeah, but it's not a daily.
And then he was like, me and my dad, we never used to do this. And I was like, what? Because like my daughter even has an Arsenal jersey, Arsenal
Are
shorts.
you an Arsenal guy?
Yes, Arsenal shorts. And I'm like, damn, you see, my bro took that old school, whatever. And then I've talked to people who've said like firstborns, especially Luo firstborns, have a certain level of bullshit that they deal with that the rest of us don't deal with.
Absolutely.
So now a son is taken as a firstborn, so maybe there's some shit he dealt with that now ikafanya yesi tight na mtoyo wake vile.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you think like in that whole you not having a relationship with your dad and then him also dying, do you think like there's like a father wound there? Because everyone says everyone has daddy issues, but men never talk about their daddy issues.
Yeah. What do you mean by father wound?
Like daddy issues is what I'm saying.
I don't have daddy issues. but I understand, like maybe I overcompensate, like with my daughter, like even sometimes I feel like I'm spoiling her. Like she gets away with a lot of shit around me.
And
like
you know that she's getting away with it.
Yes. Yeah. Like she takes advantage of me, like that human takes advantage of me. Yeah, but I'm also enjoying the journey of just being a dad and just trying to mold like a little human being. Like you're trying to change their worldview and also like tell them this is how you act around this, is how you act around this. So I remember majuzi nilikuwa nasema vile she knows I'm an atheist, and she knows she can't bring it up around her grandparents. Like I always tell her, like old people need God, so don't bring her.
It's true.
But around other people she'll be like, even maybe you tukia like, oh, my dad does not believe in God. And then how kimpatia chakula, like, oh, God bless her. So I've left her, like let her have her journey, but still, so it's interesting. Actually love you're just molding a little human into, and waiting to see what they turn into. So
did you always want kids?
Yes.
Why have you hesitated?
Yes, I wanted kids, but I didn't want marriage. I'm always honest, and I hate like kushua kwa sababu vile wife anakupenda atawachia alafu atakuwa like that was kitambo. Right now I'm happy. I didn't feel like I'd make a good husband. I always felt like I'd cheat.
Why?
Even too, because I used to be a hoe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to stop being a hoe anyway. Toka Koinange, sikuzi siko Koinange. I used to be on Koinange.
So you thought for sure I'm going to cheat. There's no point of marriage.
I thought like that would be. And then niko najua like the way cheating hurts girls, So I didn't want to be part of that, like where someone is crying around me because I did this.
But what about being in an open relationship?
Nah. My pride, nah.
But you're cheating.
Sharing. It's different. Open system, closed system. Now it comes to...
What do you mean? But you're not operating in a closed system.
It comes to mutaita misogyny, but I feel like the woman system it's so invasive. Like it's inside you.
You're being
outside.
Penetrated.
Yes, and someone can leave part of them inside you. No one can leave any part of them in.
I mean, it depends what you're into.
Like if can you open? Girls, she can mess with 15 girls. I don't care. But dudes, no.
You see, you are the people who wrote our constitution.
Yes. So
no, because
I can never be.
I feel like cheaters are like, oh, I want to cheat, and I'm okay with cheating. And you're cheating with someone, right?
Yeah.
You're cheating with. So you're doing the thing to someone the way you don't want it to be done to the thing, right? So men are always okay with me. I can cheat, but my wife can't cheat, which makes no sense.
We can both cheat with girls.
No, even me, I want to cheat with men if I like men.
Nah, then we end out after you yako.
But you're cheating. Why do you think that it won't like have the same?
Because the fact that unaweza kuja naye kwa nyumba, like no, you can literally you've had the
2K.
See, you've had there's this story in Ilionaga.
Oh, you mean carry the sperm, or you mean biologically? Oh, I hadn't understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I once had this story.
Mnakujanga na perfumes, lipstick. Even you can come with the scent of a woman on your body.
Scent and like literal human beings that can turn into
but DNA
like
is
9 months from now. It's like this is your kid. I'm like, this dude is light skinned. This is not like him. I have that Luo
You don't have a
melanin. Like,
skinned brother, like grandpa.
A
You know,
relative.
sometimes it skips.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah.
sina nini.
So you thought you wouldn't be a good husband? Do you
Yeah.
think you're a good husband now?
Yeah, I think yes.
If you do say so yourself.
Yeah. Like you hapa hata sijidanganyagi. I'm like, I'm one of the best out there. Like I took
I'm
that
waiting
role.
for her to comment on the
I took that role and I ran with it. And then nikakam na yo alafu nika notice like life, it's about discipline. Like you can train your mind to be anything. So you can train yourself to just be happy with one person and be like, I'm happy with this. I don't need any sexual harassment scandals. I check because like, see a podcast environment like this where you sit with girls, sit with men. If you are still a hoe, there's always going to be like you're trying to hit some guests. You see, like I don't have that shit. Hakuna guest anaweza itokea iko nini aseme. After 246 episodes, mwafali try I never tried that shit. But if I'd started this podcast nikiwa muhuni, ningekosana na watu wengi. Don't even air the episode. Because I'd have tried to hit. Unaona? So there's that. Yeah. So okay. But kuna kitu interesting ulisema. Hutaki watoi? Kwani hutaki watoi?
Why don't I want kids?
Because ulikuwa solo. Unaogopa?
No, I'm trying to condense the reasons. I'm not interested in motherhood. It feels like a very big sacrifice. And I think that's also from watching like my mother. Like my mother had 7. My mother wanted kids, has always wanted kids. From when she was 6, herding cows in Canada, she was like...
Oh, your mom is Nyakanyada?
Yes.
Oh, I have my aunt. My aunt is Nyakanyada. But damn. Now, the funny thing is I just know her as Nyakanyada. So
I know you don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know the other name.
People
lose their name. You
know that generation, they know everyone. And they know your mother and where she went to school and the church that was next to your home and the road that like they know. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
It's
I think
crazy.
life was simpler back in the days.
Yeah. So even when she was herding cows when she was 6, she used to pray like, I hope I get a good husband and I hope I have children. Like she's always wanted them. I wanted kids at some point. And then I turned 18 and something happened. I don't know. I think me and my mother's relationship was like tumultuous and then it became really good and we're friends. So I'm aware of her experience of motherhood so intimately that I was like, any job. Like I like, because my mother is an active mother. Like she wants to be there. She wants to be in her children's lives. She's invested and involved. And my mother was the type, she comes home from work and she'll tell the maid to sit down because she's here. She's going to take care of her children. There has, you know what I mean? And yes, it's a lot of work, but I'm also not interested in the level of work. Like it's a big sacrifice.
Yeah.
I don't want my life to change. Parenting is forever. And then I don't know if I like children.
Oh, okay.
I like my nieces and nephews very much. But even my nieces and nephews...
Because it's part-time.
Yeah. Because it's part-time. I can give you back. Return to sender, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in developing relationships with them specifically because I worry about what kids are growing up like nowadays.
Yeah.
I worry that people don't talk to kids about like alcohol and contraception and so I try and be that auntie because like my big sister is not gonna have that conversation with the son, so I will do it. You know.
Yeah. How old is the son?
21.
21. Okay.
So I started
It's
these conversations he's grown. Yeah. But in terms of like, I don't know. I'm just not interested.
Okay.
I used to be. I was planning to have 9 kids because I'm from a big family. I'd even named them. I had drawn their names. You know those things that people do. Sana. So Michelangelo, Ludwig, Giuseppe, Amaru, Giovanni, Abigail, Yvonne. And then I was going to adopt the last one and name her after my big sister. Like the first one in our family will be the last one in mine. Like I'd planned it. Like... Yeah, and then
we just decided to be selfish.
I think it's selfish to want kids, actually.
Why?
Because having kids is a very internal thing. It's mostly about you. You want to create a child. You want to see what you guys look like. You guys want to combine your love. You want to create a human that will go forth in the world. You want to see what a baby you will look like.
You have to give it back to nature, because nature needs kids. Like, you see what's happening in Japan.
Kids will happen anyway. That's not your sole responsibility.
I think kids won't happen anyway. Are you seeing, like, right now in Japan, they're begging people to have kids?
Yeah, they are. But that's also...
The population is...
That's also, like, a very specific Japan problem. Like, they have a weird oppression thing. Not oppression, repression. Like, where their sexualities are, like... They're very sexual people, but they're also very sexually repressed. Like, TV shows in Japan have, like... You have to... A woman is giving you head under the table, and you win the competition by your face not changing. And it's, like, TV, right? Like, they have... There's a disconnect in their socialization as opposed to...
There's a TV show like that?
Yeah. No, and they're wilder TV shows. That's just like a mild one. Like Japanese TV is wild, and their sexual thing, in my opinion, is a little bit skewed. So I think that's also...
Yeah.
And they think relationships are complicated, which is true. They are complicated. They literally have buildings nowadays, like apartment buildings, where it's engineered to make you meet other single people, because people don't want to meet. They don't want to hang out. They don't want to do the effort of doing a relationship, because relationships are fucking effort. Yeah. And children are also effort. And I think it's okay to not want to do that effort. Okay. I travel a lot more. Like, I can't even have a pet. Like, I don't know how it would work. But even before I was a traveler, it's a lot of work. And I think you need a partner, which is fine, but a lot of the time women are largely the caregivers. And I don't think that's fair. And yeah.
It's literally nature. Like...
it's nature. Like, I have to carry the baby.
Those things that your mom, you're saying, used to do. It's in you. I think TV has come to light to us that a lot of things are not in us. But that maternal instinct is just... It's just in you.
It's not in me.
You can...
It's not.
You can whatever it, but...
No, that's not true.
Like, that's why you ask even most dudes, let me alafu sana nitakupatia time bonge. Most dudes utafind, even when they're talking about the sacrifices that people made, they'll mostly talk of the mother. Because the fact that the mother, you see, the man could have spread the seed and just move.
Yeah.
But the mother, after the seed is inside her, she can't just move away.
True.
Unless you have she has to. Yeah. So nature also made the mother have a certain bond with the kid that the dad might not have.
You guys, let me tell you why that's not true. Because if this was true, then postpartum depression would not exist. If the maternal instinct was just not... It's not rare. What do you mean?
Postpartum depression is not as common as deadbeat dads.
True, of course, but it is still a common thing. Yeah. If this thing is so natural and so biological, then women would naturally have that maternal instinct. Let me tell you why people think the maternal instinct is natural. It's because we're socialized to nurture. It doesn't come automatically to us. If it came automatically, we're not talking about animals, we're talking about humans, right? And humans are animals, but we're elevated animals, right? If it came naturally to us, then we wouldn't have to keep shoving certain things down our throat, right? So, like, if you look at how girls are raised in most African societies, the girl is the one who, when we're in a social gathering, you're going to be the one told, go serve sijui what, go put the basin for washing hands, go take care of the other little kids. If boys were treated in the same way, then they would also take on nurturing roles. Do you know what I mean? It's because we're taught, I'm good with babies. Not because I want to be good at babies or because I like babies, but because all through my life as a girl child, babies were shoved into my hands. I was babysitting everyone. Oh, why aren't you cooking? Why aren't you in the kitchen? I don't like that shit. Today, as a rebellion, I don't cook because I was forced so much into that role. I know how to do it. I don't want to do it. It's just that's how I was socialized. In the same way, child rearing and parenting, because you know you can't run away from the seed unless you make a different choice. You have to do the role. There's hakuna otherwise. You know what I mean? Men have otherwise, so they can make those choices.
Yeah. But you want to say, me from the nature point, where if let's say evolutionarily we never ended up with big brains, because it's the brains is what makes us different from other animals. Yes. If you look at other animals, you'll find that the mother stays with the kid for longer than the dad. The dad just drops the seed and goes. Sometimes they don't even know they've dropped the
But
seed.
even in the animal kingdom, if we're using the animal kingdom as an example, which I don't think is fair because this is a hypothetical situation that is not happening. But if we're talking hypothetically, even in the animal kingdom, there are fathers who are the only ones who are solely in charge of the children, and the mother goes in multiple animal species. So, for example, penguins, the dads are the only ones who take care of them. Seahorses, the mother actually puts the pouch of the eggs with the dad, and the dad is the one who carries. Like, there's multiple examples, even in the animal kingdom.
Yeah, me nabonga jazile where the woman has the womb and the dad has the whatever.
In the seahorse, the woman has the womb and then she gives to the dad.
Yeah, you see, so
even
now
in
that's only freak whatever. But sasa tukibonga juu the majority, yes, find the mother always has a certain level of connection with the kid, because the way nature like expected things to happen is, remember at some point before we became the societies that we were very violent societies, yes. So men used to die more than women. Sindio? At some point. Remember, like, because of wars and wars. Because wars, men will always be in the front line, yes? Testosterone and that. So tukidedi, there has to be someone behind, because nature just cares about the species surviving and thriving. It does not care about whether you are successful. Hiyo ni yako. Hii pesa nyinyi ndio mlikama up nayo. Nature nataka tu tuzaane. Na tukizaana kuwe na ile like balance. So I feel like the mother's love inakuwaga hapo. But now the modern world, because of I'd say Hollywood has played a role in this, imekama ikaifanya ni kama it's a level of competition. Like even when you brought up homosexuality, and I feel like maybe this is the time we can talk about it. Like personally, I support gay rights, yes. The only thing I don't want is a lot of gay TV shows. You know why? Do you know why? Because it's reached a level where it's become the next cool thing. Where they did a study in America where they were like, I think in the 1960s, like 1% of Americans used to name as gay. Then it went to 3%. Right now in 2023, like 25% of Americans identify as gay. That's impossible. Nature can never allow that. Like, it's impossible. Because the species has to thrive. So for 25% of people to name it's because it's on TV every day. You're like, you know what? Maybe I am. You see, so kuna hiyo level. Alafu, as a parent, you're always trying to protect your kid, yes? So I know my lesbian daughter will have, in quotes, an easier life than my gay son. So no one wants, like deep down, he has a son. If he was to be given a choice between your girl being gay and your son being gay, if one has to be gay,
why do you have
who are you choosing?
Isn't the point to just have a happy child?
No, I'm just asking.
Of course, it would be easier for the girl.
Yeah.
My thing is, though, hey, you've said many things to respond to.
Hollywood. Hollywood.
I don't think it's Hollywood.
Go influence Anna.
I don't think it's Hollywood. But the thing that I was fighting is not that nature is trying to survive. The thing I'm fighting is this idea that nurturing comes naturally to women, because that's what puts us in this box of cooking comes naturally to women. Being the tea girl in the office comes naturally to women. That's not a thing. We were socialized to become that. And because biology has decided that we must be the womb carriers, you can't leave the baby. It's not a thing. Which is why women have been having abortion since the beginning of time, because they're trying to run away from having to do it alone or do it in an blah, 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 blah. So that part is what I'm fighting, not the part that nature wants us to survive. Of course, nature wants us to survive. Of course, men were dying largely. Of course, there's more deadbeat dads than there are women with postpartum depression. But postpartum depression is very much a thing,
I know.
Specifically because that does not come naturally to us. It doesn't.
Okay, let's agree to disagree. Because like even when the woman threw the kid yesterday, in Mombasa, there was a woman who was on a ferry, and she threw her 8-month-old kid into the ocean.
No
and
way.
I remember when the kid was saved, yes? And I remember thinking about it, and I was like, a lot of people, people jumped in immediately. An 8-month-old kid most probably knows how to swim, because it's like we are born knowing how to swim.
Yeah.
We just forget because our brain makes us overthink stuff.
Water. Yeah.
Otherwise, the way Vlosamaga, I think if you were to throw a retarded person into water, they'd float, because it's just in you. Like cows float. So some toyali float. But I can save you up here, because of course the ocean is vast and what. And I remember thinking about it, and I was like, it's one of two things. Either ni postpartum, ama ni what we normally talk about, intrusive thoughts. Yes. You know about intrusive thoughts, eh?
How so?
this is something nani alituchanua juu yake, and then I ended up researching about it. Ecstatic. So all humans have very bad thoughts that come to your mind once in a while.
True.
Either to hurt yourself or hurt someone around you, yes? But we never act on them. That's what separates us from crazy people. And those are intrusive thoughts. Yeah. So like, I always give my intrusive thoughts zanguaga when I'm in high buildings. I always have that voice telling me, suruke tu simbali.
Nothing can happen.
So I'm always like, I don't want to be around. So maybe I was like, maybe the woman was like, simrushe tu, hakuna kitu nizamfanyikia. And then akishamrusha ndio, the reality don't have like, fuck, I fucked up.
There's a specific name for that one for buildings. Something like looking into the void or something.
Yeah,
there's a specific
the
word
call of the void.
The call of the void, is that what it is?
Yes, something of the void. Yes, I
Yeah.
hate it. So maybe like place like my wife works akuna time naendaga huko, of their offices wako na hizo nini, alafu ni huko juu, so it's like 20th floor. I never want that shit. Like most of them ni kuja tu hapa chini. I don't want that. Mine is so bad. I don't know, you have it also?
I have the building
Mine
one.
is
I have
bad.
I have a couple of them, where I think nothing can actually happen, and then in my head I can feel myself going, stop being stupid.
Yeah.
So
nachukia. So nafikiria maybe I excuse the mother for that. So that was that.
On the homosexuality thing, I think people are scared of things that they don't understand.
Yeah.
And so the fact that people think that TV can make someone gay is crazy to me.
It can't. TV
Just
is
because,
powerful.
like,
the same one music. I'd say like I'm seated here because of hip hop music, hip hop and reggae.
True, but are you gonna come for my reggae quiz? Okay, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, okay.
So, because if that were true, then no one would be gay, right? Because we've had quote unquote straight or cis heteronormative whatever TV all our lives, which means if TV is that powerful to determine your sexuality, then no one would be gay.
No, it won't determine your sexuality, but it's going to make you experiment things you're not supposed to experiment.
I think experimentation is healthy. I think a lot of people... Let me explain. I think a lot of people hide that, especially in schools like... I can't speak for America, but in schools like Kenya, where we went to Kenyan boarding schools and it's one, it's all girls or all boys. I think a lot of people experimented and they don't want to agree. Even in Kenya High, we had scandals all the time of Sidri, who was found with who, Sidri doing what, where. I remember hearing stuff about Kenya High, about Quartet, Sidri people were using test tubes to do Sidri what, stuff like that. Even in boys' schools, like I have friends who were gay and sleeping with like the rugby captain so that you wouldn't be bullied. Stuff like that. Like, I think people act
That's
like...
sodomy.
So sodomy, are we talking about sodomy like the legal term? Because...
Yeah, because like if I'm giving you just so that I'm not bullied, I'm paying you with sex.
But is it consensual? So that's sex work. That's not sodomy.
Is
because
it
sodomy,
consensual?
there's also an age thing,
I'm
right?
using it for security.
True, but you're still using it. I mean, sex work is used for economy, right? Like sex work is work. And you're using it to further, it's a job for you, like
okay.
And it's not like he was forcing, you know what I mean? It's not like he was like, come, I'll give you security, so you must. That's different. That's coercion. But I think where was I on this train of thought? Sodomy. There's an age thing, right? As well, like with the definition of that word.
Yeah.
And there's a certain age you can't consent. If two kids, because I mean the fact of the matter is kids are having sex in Kenya, right?
Yeah.
The average age of sexual debut in Nyanza is 9 for girls, right?
Yeah. I've talked about that, and it's depressing.
It's very depressing. And what's also depressing about it is these are much older men, like the boda guys and blah blah blah, and they're doing it for like pads or food or fish or whatever. That's different because it's also someone much older. But even kids of the same age are having sex. Is that?
It's scary still.
It's scary still, but they're all. I know this sounds weird, but it's less scary for me when it's the same age as opposed to a 10-year-old and a 20-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Because
one is a crime, another one is just, it's morally wrong.
I don't know if you can call it experiment. Like, kids are curious about sex, right? Like, guys recognize their penises very early. Like, they know if they touch her, it feels nice. I know, like, a lot of guys talk about the fact that their first sexual experience is with, like, the housey, right? Which... also, like, it freaks me out how many stories like that there are, because the houses are often like way older. And a lot of guys are like, oh no, but I enjoyed it. But she was still older. Do you know what I mean? It's the same way, even now, like, I remember one of my someone I know, she was 24 and she was dating a 32-year-old. I have an age thing, and I know many people don't, and think it's normal as long as you're 18. But for me, like, there's age gaps with, so 30 and 40, I don't think it's weird, right? Because your full frontal, like, lobe, your cortex is developed. You're like an adult, like your development has finished. You're now an adult. 24, your lobe has. So 32 for me, it feels.
Yeah, it's on ni judge because mimi nilikuwa hivyo. Nilikuwa 30 what? 33, 22, yeah.
But you see, that's what I'm saying. Many people don't have that thing.
Yeah.
And my friends have told me, Abby, this is just a thing. No, because they're legal, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes what is legal is not necessarily ethical. I mean, slavery was legal, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But there's a mind thing that is lacking. So when you say sodomy, for me, it's something different from people fucking in high school, because people are fucking in high school, even primary school.
Yeah.
I've written articles about, like, interviewing 12-year-olds from schools and how they have, you know.
Mi sakili nilikuwa nasema juu ya Hollywood, where Hollywood comes in is even
Oh,
like
right,
when we
that's
talk
what we're
about
talking
kids, when you talk about kids, Hollywood will make girls feel like they can experiment as much as boys, and a girl's experimentations have more consequences than
That's
a boy's experimentations. That's
true.
why,
even though in an
like,
ideal world it wouldn't be.
yeah, like, so that's why, like, for us, like, girl dads, we are super worried. Like, I'm worried of when now, because my kid is 4 years away from teenagehood. She's turning 9 next year, and then teenagehood inakuja, and this is the period where now I'll have to try and sit with her and nimwambie, like, yes, you'll watch people telling you can do everything a boy can do, but don't forget, US comes with consequences. If you're a mother at 13 and a father at 13, it's different. A father at 13, mtoi yuko huko, ye yuko hapa. A mother at 13,
bado anaenda shule, by the way.
Uko na mtoi. Like, this true. Kid, now your life is fucked. So, and hapo ndio nafeel kama Hollywood na danganya madem, sisi na we are the same, we are not the same.
I get that.
And the consequences are different.
But in terms of that conversation for homosexuality and experimentation, I don't know about America. Maybe America, it's cool to be gay.
Yeah.
But, like, in Kenya, people are still getting killed and murdered for that stuff. So it's also hard for me to wrap my mind around that. Let me be gay because it's cool. There's not a lot of places in Kenya where it's cool to be gay. It's actually, you'll be more likely to be harassed and tortured. Like, I know a lot of guys, even in schools that you would think are, you know, schools, like international schools or whatever, they were still being beaten for being, and sometimes they weren't even gay, they were just feminine. Do you guys have, like, friends who are, like, feminine but they're not gay?
Feminine dudes, yeah.
And so I don't know about the coolness thing. I can't speak to it because I'm not in America. But in Kenya,
Hollywood is pushing it, yani, kwa TV,
I don't think Hollywood,
like
the reason I don't think Hollywood is pushing it is because when you haven't been included in a narrative for so long, you feel like you have to push it extra. Do you know what I mean? So, like, women, for example, we haven't been included in the narratives for so long. That's why people think, like, we've overcorrected with the girl child. But actually, we're just trying to catch up to, like, the gender pay gap is still a thing. Women are still being paid less, even at this Nation Media Group that we were both unfortunately employees of. Like, women are still being paid significantly less than men, you know. We're just trying to overcorrect. And the reason that I don't
Nation
think...
Media, I'd have to ask you, is it a woman or whatever thing? I don't know.
I'd
say, like, I don't know Sanaipe's salary, but I'm sure at Nation she was paid more than me. You know, like, so I don't think
I
it's...
don't know, but I know,
I wouldn't feel like... but I hope I'm not mansplaining, but I don't think, like, Kenya, the gender gap is much... it come to salaries as a big issue as America. I feel like America is...
It's huge.
Special in its own way.
I think it's the same only because of the people I talk to in corporate and just my experience at Nation. Because at Nation specifically, the people who were doing the same thing as me, or even if you look at the managing editors, right? Even how they hire, right? Women are usually hired in, you know, lifestyle, culture, pop, Daily Nation too. But men, sports, real news, hard-hitting investment. Even if you look at the managing editors at Nation, right? There's one woman out of 7. Are you telling me there's no qualified, like, and even her, the reason she was paid? Hey, let me not go into state secrets, but, like, there's definitely a gap. It's not America, for sure, but there's definitely a gap. And so with the gay conversation, I understand that it might look like there's like such a push, like gay people, but you realize like there's gay people around you whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
And there's just a bid to show the reality. What I don't like actually is when you make people gay without a story. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're just doing it like a diversity hire. You just hire a black person. You just put a woman there so that we look like, look, we're hip, we're woke, we're politically correct. No, like, or how when they wanted to make James Bond black. Don't make James Bond black.
Yeah, we don't.
He can't be black.
Yeah,
he'll be busted in Russia immediately. He can't be a spy. Just give me a good story with a black dude. You know, like even like a black superhero when they made what was Will Smith's superhero? Hancock. Was a nonsense. Did you see that movie?
Yeah.
It's a nonsense movie. Black Panther, he's already black. Just give us the thing that, you know what I mean?
Luke Cage was good.
How was he? Yeah.
Luke Cage,
was good.
I think ile kitu ilifanya watu wakupenda Luke Cage is ile explanation ya the fact that he's so powerful that yaki kugonga hivi na mtu mwingine akigonga hivi ndi the same. Because remember like the way he'd meet someone, unaongea kuchapa kidole pap, you pass out. And then I felt like Netflix did not have a good budget for special effects. I don't know. Okay.
And they did
but I loved Luke Cage.
They didn't develop him well. He could have they could have done it properly because they had a slate of good shows. Like Jessica Jones was good, and that was in the same universe. Hey, Iron Fist was nonsense. Anyway,
Iron Fist was nonsense. Daredevil, the first season was perfect.
I really enjoyed Daredevil. I even enjoyed Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I know that's a controversial thing to say, but they did it well, and they just didn't give the same. And that's another thing. They just don't give the same thing to the minorities. So when minorities are trying to be loud, now it looks like, oh, we're trying to shove it down your throat. But Marv, today nothing can make you gay if you're not gay.
It's
not possible. Even when you were 14, nothing. Even if a nigga touches your dick, how? Nothing is going to make you gay. You can make people gay. I understand that they can make it look cool. Sorry?
Jail can make you gay, but that's a story for another day.
Do you think that's true? No, I want to ask you that. Do you think that's true?
There's this joke. I always use comedians as hata unakuandiki quote ya Chris Rock kabla tuanze. But there's this joke ya nani? Ya this dude, what's his name? Jim Jeffries. Put me in a cage with anything. And after a week, I'm going to work it. I'm going to. So, after with that in mind...
If you're there for the rest of your life, you're on death row.
Yes. Like this person knows they'll never get a woman. So if they see any feminine dude, they're just going to turn them...
you're talking about.
Yes, they're going to turn them into a woman, like super fast. So that's why, like even in Kenya, you'd be surprised to learn that there's more homosexuality at Kodiaga than Kamiti. Like from the stories I've heard from people, yes, Kodiaga is bad. Like those Luo dudes, they are not just playing.
Why? But why? Why is it more?
I don't know. I don't know why in Kodiaga it's that bad, and it's Luo dudes just like devouring other Luo dudes.
I don't know. Like I think
any other tribe, especially like, now if you go there as like a light skinned Kikuyu dude. Yeah.
But does that make you gay? Like does having
it's gay still because it's at the end of the day it's two dudes.
Why
so
is your face
this
doing that? Why is your face
now
doing
the man who dominates this other one, like how are you enjoying that? Because I feel like being a gay man takes a whole level of nini. You have to be able, like your senses of smell, you have to numb them, you have to do a lot of stuff.
Numb them. Just have a shower. Okay, so this is my thing, right?
You have to numb
I think there's a difference between that's so circumstantial. Like you're in jail, you're not leaving, you know, like I wouldn't like hold it against you because like
but nilikuwa nasema ka joke hiyo like
no but like I'm thinking about it because a lot of people think like if you have if you're a man who has sex with a man then you're gay.
Yes.
I don't know if that's true. So you know how like
there's no thin line between ours is
do you watch porn?
Yeah.
Okay. You know that all the women who have sex with women are not necessarily gay, right? Like it's
women,
as in wanafanya job.
Man. It's different. Yours is not as invasive as ours.
But it's still gayness. Even if it's not invasive, it's still gayness. And we can invade with strap-ons or whatever. Like,
you see, up on the Subonga, like, I remember having this conversation with, I don't know who we were having this conversation with, and I was saying, like, the way, when I look at lesbians, and I don't think they're gay.
What does that mean? Okay. You think they're gay-ish?
Yes. Stay with me, yeah? And the reason I was saying that is the probability that if I invaded a gay man's house, I'd find a fake vagina is next to zero. But if I invade a girl's nini, I'll find a dildo. And this dildo is not just going to be a dildo.
Oh, so you
it's
think
going to
the
be
fact
huge. It's going to be bigger than a normal man's
So you think
penis.
the fact that you find the thing means that you're not really the thing?
Yes,
Okay.
because why are you still messing with things
men
from the
stuff.
other?
Yeah, because we like
You're supposed
the thing,
to
but
stick
not
to
the things that
Vituzeni.
attached to the, yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
makes
means
sense.
you're not gay.
No, that means you just
'Cause
don't
a
like
dude-
men. You like dicks, but you don't like men.
Yes.
Yeah.
That means there's a dick out there that can satisfy you.
No, because that's
Yes.
how corrective rape happens. Because now people think, oh, if you just fuck the right one, you'll become.
No. I'm just saying, like, there's no... These guys are not going out there and shipping in fake vaginas. Like, the fake vaginas that were found at KRA,
Well, for
those
guys.
had been shipped by men.
Yeah.
But those big dildos, I'm sure bunch were for lesbians. Uliona moja inatushana hivi jo. Like, how am I supposed to compete with
Actually,
this?
if you go to Lido's,
Mm.
they have those dildos, but it's for the men's viewing pleasure. Because the women will like put the giant ones, right? They'll put the stuff in there. So it's not even necessarily all the time. It's also like
Yeah,
these
but
little
lesbians,
sex shops we have, the sex stores, the brothels, you know.
Mm.
Are you smiling because you've been to one?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, watu wanajua. Like, majuzi hata usikaa saizi vile wamepanga juu ya Lidos. I actually don't know where Lidos is. They were talking about Super Mambo. I don't know where it is. I've never been a clubbing
Leaders, they
person.
use those these days.
Yes.
It's become posh.
Okay.
Hey, that
They didn't have a budget back in the day.
They didn't have a budget. Nowadays, work on a big screen TV, yani,
Yeah.
which also, I don't know. Sometimes I think there's
Really?
also like too much sex. I don't know how to explain. Like it's too. I don't know how to explain. Like it's too much. Like you walk into Lido's.
Now
and there's, like,
unajipataje places guys? We're supposed to
I'm
be
a
a good
journalist
Christian
by
woman.
profession, Moaf. I'm curious about things.
Kick rock.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
it's still there. Yeah, and so like you walk in, and there's like a huge screen with just like porn. And I'm like, I'm not here to watch porn with my friends. We sit together, then we wank. No, like sometimes I think it's too much, almost just a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Don't
But
get to-
but
yeah, so
umeget
what
reasoning
I'm saying
yangu
is-
like you girls are never gay.
I don't agree, but I understand what you mean. Because why do we have dildos? I get it.
Yeah.
But-
you should just go straight like
And
the
then you're
straight
still
tongue.
using the sexual organ.
Yeah. So now my thing is, right, like I was saying nothing can make you gay if you're not gay.
Yeah.
And therefore TV cannot make me gay. Do you believe that like that thing for
I
gangster
am
rap made me do
influenced.
it? Do you think that's a thing? Like when people
I
commit
think if you're not
murders
a sharp person, it can happen. Because as I was saying, like I look at my worldview, and my worldview is just very reggae, hip hop influence. Yes. So reggae brought me the thing of like I'm black and I'm proud. Like I'm proud of my color. Like we are the original. And then hip hop gave me the thing of individualism, where this is me, and this is how I think. I don't care about what everyone thinks. This is about me as an individual. So with that in mind, I'm there thinking, what about a kid who's maybe left in the house and all they're watching is some dude who goes on an experimentation journey and having
what
sex
is
with boys.
But what is the
girls,
role of the
yeah.
parent in that situation?
I mean,
right? Like
I'm just saying, yeah,
that's
the
what
parent
it's
has to
like.
do their role. So, and then we have sisi waleni active parents, and then you have whatever. But I'm just saying, like,
people
zile
who are
za
inactive parents.
yeah, kuna wale watu
Yeah,
wajaliki
they can
kila
watch
mtu yana
anything,
do.
yeah. But like I just it's hard for me to wrap my mind around if I wasn't what I am. Watching enough TV about this thing will make me that thing. Because if that was true, then gay people would also be able to become straight, because the majority of TV is for straight people. If it doesn't work one way in my head, I don't see how it can work the other. Of course, I understand, like, you know, kids are like impressionable, right?
Yeah,
But
sponge.
like, you know, we're living in a world that is changing. The way we were talking about how media is changing, we're living in a world that is changing, where you will meet people who both of their parents are men. And regardless of what you believe about what they're doing in their lives or in their bedroom, there's no cause for intolerance or hatred or talking left. How you choose to raise your kid is how you choose to raise your kid. And I think everyone should just respect each other more in that way.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
because
dispute
it
that.
always turns into, for a lot of people, or the people who are subjected to violence because of this thing, I don't understand why it turns to violence.
Yeah.
Like, why are you pissed that I'm kissing a girl? How does this affect you in your daily life?
Okay, yeah, damn.
Can be
It's
pissed.
different.
Sorry, so for a guy, why are you pissed that a guy is kissing a guy? He's not kissing you. He's not hurting you.
Yeah.
He's not trying to, you know, even the stuff that they say about abuse. Like a lot of the time that the abuse that parents are scared of It's more in-house than some random
yeah.
drag queen from Sijui coming to... Do you know what I mean? So that's why I started with, I think a lot of people are scared of the unknown. And I feel like, much like politics, if we just thought about it a little bit...
But sasa, nini, awoni kuzurizo kwa nafanya na bonga juu Hollywood is, I feel like Hollywood has become too woke that it's becoming dangerous. And the reason I'm saying that is, I know most probably because from what you've talked about, I think you understand transgenderism, yes? And I think you understand and you support it, yes? That means that mimi Mwafrika, umenijua hizi miaka zote, if I woke up tomorrow and I start identifying as a woman, you're supposed to be cool with it. Yeah. I'm not a woman.
But you feel like you're a woman. Who am I to tell you what you are? You know how you're saying I'm
bullshit.
black and I'm African?
How I feel like a billionaire. I've not walked into any bank and been given a billion.
But that's false equivalency. You know what I mean?
It's not
you
false
can't
equivalence.
relate sexuality, which is between your ears. It's directly what you think and how you feel, to what is in your bank account. Those are two different things.
Let me ask you. If I work hard enough, can I become a billionaire?
Oof.
Yes?
I don't know.
Yeah, but there's a probability.
It's hard to become a billionaire.
But there's a small probability, yes?
Very small.
Neza angukia sport pesa 300 million and like have a jump start.
300 million now?
Yeah, it's 330 million, yes? But if a man feels like a woman every day, would his penis ever turn into a vagina?
No, but he can chop it off if you want.
Yes.
Yes.
He'd have to.
Yeah.
You understand? So this is the problem I have with it, where like any man can just claim he's a woman and we're okay with that. In other countries, that's a mental health condition because you have a penis. This is a penis. So unaona hatujakata we kuwa gay. Be gay. Like love other men. But don't tell us to look at you as a woman. If you're a man, you're a man. If you're a girl, you're a girl.
But once again, how does this affect you?